From the broadcasting station of Lagos Television, here in Lagos, Nigeria, and across the world, wherever you are watching us, it is an honor for us again to welcome you on yet another time out on issues and trends on Lagos land administration policies, drive, and of course, that which has been driving the EGIS and the Lands Bureau administration in Lagos State. We want to thank you for joining us and say a very big welcome to you on today's very special edition with a very special guest. We'll be right back after this time out. It's good to have you back. My guest today, from every standard of reckoning, is not only a graduate of urban and regional planning with specialization on land administration and geographical information. From all available record, he also has a master's degree in development and planning and a PhD in research and development planning. And we're proud to say that we have reliable information that his professional experience spans academia, industry, and public administration at the national level. It may also please you to note that my guest, by every standard, his enthusiasm and self-confidence have enabled him to work effectively, both as an individual and part of a team. We also have it on record that his excellent interpersonal problem-solving and organizational skills have been broadened by his experience in academia, industry, and various appointments in the administration of his country and also of the highest level. Distinguished guests watching us at this time wherever you are across the world, I have this very special honor to welcome as my guest Dr. Olajide Abiodun Babatunde, the special advisor to Mr. Governor on EGIS, that is Enterprise Geographic Information System, and equally the man driving the digitization process of the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development and agencies in Lagos State. Doc, it is a great honor to have you as my guest today.
Yeah, it's a great honor to be here with you today. And to the viewers, I say a very good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you may be across the world.
When you came on board on your appointment, there were no missing words, and they did not even play with the words. It was clearly stated and categorically stated as well that your enthusiasm, interpersonal, and organizational skills puts you in a vantage position to complement the state executive council, ministries, and of course government agencies. How do you speak to that?
Well, nobody is a Superman, because when I arrived, people thought that I was here to solve a problem, or I was here to solve several problems. But the truth of the matter is, you cannot actually carry out anything or do anything without people supporting you.
You cannot do anything without people supporting you. How do you mean?
Yeah, so the task of being a member of the executive council, you must be a team player to start with. Whatever it is that you want to drive through the executive council, you need to get the buy-in of your colleagues. If you don't get the buy-in of your colleagues, then you can really not get an ESCO approval. And then at the ministry level, for those who you're working with, you need to understand the fact that there are permanent secretaries, there are directors, and just as you said, I'm working with, I'm working on the digitization together with my colleagues of the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, and what we're doing there is called the Electronic Physical Planning Process System. And we also have the Electronic Geographic Information Service, which is being done at the Office of the Surveyor General and the Lands Bureau. To get these things done, You know, you can only try to drive people that you find on ground. You can be a driver, you understand, and you need some other people to be the conductors. And don't forget that you need a lot of things to make these things work. You need to fuel the vehicle. You need to ensure that you obey all the traffic signs and the traffic wardings. Otherwise, you're just going to be stopped. And when you are stopped, then you hit a brick wall and nothing will definitely happen. So, and that's why I said, you know, it's actually the people, you know, that you don't see behind the scenes who actually make the difference. So what it takes to be a special advisor or to be a commissioner or to be a governor is the people who voted and the people who are going to be there to support you. Those who are on the inside and those who are on the outside. Those on the inside meaning those who you find within the ministry, and those on the outside are the general public who we are called to serve.
Doc, it is clearly evident that since you came on board, one can proudly say, and we can really articulate the fact that you had successfully, that is the word, the choice of word, that it is to your credit that you have successfully coordinated many digitization projects of the Lagos State government in the built environment on one side, as well as the Lagos/EPPS platform, the e-Transact at another side of it, and LASPEMA automation project, and the Lagos State digital mapping and spatial data infrastructure project. Others are the EGIS project, establishment of the GIS units in the various MDAs, and of course the establishment of so many other information of your service commitment to the state government. How does this make you feel? And does this give you a sense of fulfillment, accomplishment in the joy of doing what you do as a professional?
Well, thank you very much for that question. There's a lot of things wrapped up in one, but if you permit me to answer it in my way, you know, I would need to tell the citizens out there, I mean, a lot of things that you have just spoke about. You know, I mean, even a judge, when he tries to give a judgment and he finds out that there's some technical jargons, he will refer it to the expert on the outside to look at, to give him, you know, proper information before he decides whether or not he wants to deliver that judgment. So the first thing I told you earlier is about my colleagues, you know, and I want to start up from there. You know, all of these things would not be possible if I do not have colleagues who have the capacity and who have the zeal, you know, to make these things work. So, and that's why you see on my table, one of the things you see is I love my colleagues. You know, that's really very important. And I want to use this opportunity to thank all my colleagues from the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, the Office of Physical Planning and the Office of Urban Development, to thank my colleagues at the Lands Bureau, particularly the Permanent Secretary there, you know, Kamalu Olusegun, to thank Lolade Ajetumobi, the Executive Secretary Lands, to thank Ayokuni Adesina, the Surveyor General at the Lands Bureau. You know, I cannot forget all the other good people that we've been working together, the likes of Mrs. Agiri, Mrs. Alabi, Mr. Moshood, Mrs. Lawal, you know, and also
Wow, you seem to know everyone by name. That's amazing.
I know them by name.
Part of the demands of the job to know all of these, or to be able to articulate or know their names, so that keeps you going.
Yeah, you know, when the world was created by God and He put Adam there, you know, one of the things that He did as Adam was to name them and know them by their names. You understand? So, and you know, every single time that God calls out to anyone, He knows everybody by their name. So you must know people by their names. You can't know everyone, but at least you will know the key people. So I'm not claiming that I know everybody, but I know all the people that matter, and all of those people, you know, as I try as much as possible to disseminate information, you know, to every single one of them. And everyone that I see, you know, on the road, you understand that I'm ready to engage them. It's very important. And you know, when you came to my office today, You understand? You see that you only walked in. My door is always open. You understand? So people come, talk to me, and then through that, I'm able to understand what the challenges are, what their personal problems are. Because someone who has a personal problem is not going to be able to solve the challenges within the workspace. So just so that I don't forget, the question that you asked, let me start with LASPIC. LASPIC is the Lagos Planning Information Center. When we came on board, this center was already down. This center was a center that was created during the time of Governor Babatunde Raji Fashola. You understand? Because he had gone around and found out that when you go to the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority or the Lagos State Building Control Agency, they just have files that outnumber the number of staff that are inside of that office. So you can imagine if we say we have 500,000 files somewhere, you will not be able to sit down when you have 500,000 files in your office space.
Absolutely.
However, even looking through those files become difficult. And sometimes some people cannot even find their building approval. So what he decided to do was to establish an agency called LASPIC, is the Lagos Planning Information Center. What Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu has done is to revitalize, rejig LASPIC. Before, LASPIC was just a repository of documentation for approval processes and other important documents from other MDAs that are being archived there. Today, LASPIC is interactive. You understand that we are about to launch the LASPIC portal. I mean, a few months ago, we gave the tools out. Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. And now we have a brand new server for LASPIC. All the approvals that you have in the state that we can lay our hands on, we have digitized. And we did not stop our digitization. We went on to do instrumentation, which is all the equipment and all of those things. And from instrumentation, we went to automation. So we have this fully automated now. From the comfort of your home, if you do not have your building approval handy, and you have the ministry officials, like I was looking at my phone a few minutes ago and I saw that a friend of mine had actually sent me images of some of our staff that are right now on his site. So if he cannot immediately give the document to them, there's something online, we can find the document there. So I'm calling out to the citizens of Lagos State, if you cannot find your building plan approval, visit LASPIC. Whether physically or on their online credentials, and try as much as possible to make sure that your documentation is digitized, so that in an automated environment, we're able to communicate this to those who should know. And I'm also saying again to those who are out there, I mean, be you a tenant or be you someone who wants to purchase a property, please do not buy a property that has no building approval. That this is why we've decided, to on the front end, communicate this to you. That's one. We also have the electronic physical planning process system, which means that all our processes in the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development is being automated. And when the automation is completed in a few weeks from now, we've already gone into the user acceptance testing. We still had a meeting on Sunday, we had a meeting on Saturday, we're going to have a meeting today, because those who are in charge of the Lagos Net, it's called Lagos Net, they're already available in my office right now. Once you're done, I'm going to be having discussions with them. So it means that also from the comfort of your home, you are able to apply for a building permission and also follow this through up until the certificate of completion and fitness for habitation. Never again will you have to spend long hours in Alausa waiting to see someone.
Never again.
Never again.
Never again.
Yes, this is what Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu has decided to do. It is part of service delivery. So what I'm saying is you can apply for anything. On the LASPIC side, 60C, on the EPPS side, which is also called Lagos Net, you can apply for building permission, state certification. And let me also add that, we know that we have the capabilities. So we have the technical know-how. Our staff are really great as we speak, but we don't have enough personnel. Because how many people are we?
Becomes a challenge.
Yeah, so how many people are we going to engage that will cover the entire state? And we have decided to address these through two major projects. Number one, we have the satellite technology. It's called the Lagos Watch. Like Big Brother, I understand they've just started Big Brother again. So there's a Big Brother somewhere that is watching everything through satellite technology. So if you
Lagos Watch.
Yeah, it's called Lagos Watch. So if you put anything in front of your house, as I speak to you, we're able to capture the images, and our officers will not drive their e-logs around the city, wasting fuel, you understand, wasting the little manpower that they have. They will go directly to where, you know, the intervention is needed. That is one. The second thing is they can't have a little child. It says, the child says, help me to do it by myself. So we're saying we can't do everything by ourselves. Because, if you have up to 1,000 construction going on around the city, we need about 10 personnel to visit one side, because you must have all the professionals, they must have security, they must have a vehicle, and we have to do this in 57 LCDAs across Lagos. So imagine if we have 57 teams of about 10 people, they have to visit one site, the government must be ready to give us 10 buses, 10 32-seater buses, because we will also have some other people like the press joining there, so that, you know, we are able to beam to the world what we are doing. You know, any good system, any good system is transparent. People should see what we're doing. So we have now called on allied professionals to join hands with us. So the Lagos State Building Control has advertised a few weeks ago, and we have received more than 200 applications. We have extended it because I think for a city this big, there are many professionals. We want to give everybody the opportunity. So if you have not applied and you are a group of professionals, at least
that online connect.
Please go to LAPCA, obtain a form, and what this will do is at the end of the day, maybe you as a professional will be the person or in a team monitoring, let's take for instance Banana Island for us. So we don't have to do everything by ourselves. We will still do some things, when there are contraventions, and we need to issue stop work up to demolition notices.
That's right.
Our officers have the capacity to do that. But we don't have the capacity to be on every site. I'll give you an example.
This technology.
So the technology will help us, and then also what you call the Certified Accreditor Program, CAP, which is now the allied professionals who are out there practicing, will also help us.
So there's a synergy.
So there's a synergy. So we'll be working together. Yes, we'll be working together. That is where technology has gone to, and where administration has gone to. If you look at the UK, you will have the local planning authorities in the UK. Let's be honest with ourselves. They're almost extinct. They're almost really not there anymore. The council buildings are becoming cinemas and a couple of other things. So they've reduced the spaces, and they've limited themselves to the number of staff that they think they need, to actually monitor private people who will sign, an indemnity that if anything happens, they are liable. You understand? So it's shared responsibility. It's shared responsibility. We all must be responsible. We say, if you see something, say something.
And do something.
Yeah, do something. But because in Nigeria, a lot of people just decide to keep quiet. And it's also because of our policing system. Sometimes people are afraid that if I say something, the person who is next door will say, is this person that said it? And before you know what is happening, the person is being attacked.
That's right.
You understand? But in this case, when we know that these are people who are licensed to do it, I am 100% sure that people would also give them the same respect that they give those of us who are on the inside who are doing this work. It's a work, it's a job that comes with its own advantages and also the hazards. Do you understand? So some of our staff have been here. Now, I would not forget to mention what we're doing with the Enterprise Geographic Information Service. So what the EPPS is about the physical planning. The Enterprise Geographic Information Service, EGIS, is about lands and the Office of Surveyor General. So all land information. So what was launched is the portal. So let the members of the public understand. So what we have launched is a portal. Because already we have digitized enough. Because in this process there is digitization, there is automation, there is digitization, there is instrumentation, and there is automation. So if we have digitized enough, and we already have enough equipment that has been given to us by the governor, You understand? And then, the next thing is to make sure that our automated processes can now be shared with members of the public. So don't be disappointed if you find out that when you go on the portal, maybe your property is not yet there. All you need to do is to make sure that your property is there, because every good land information system is transparent. So when people want to purchase your property from outside of the country, they don't need to come. They do everything on the system.
That's right.
You understand? So from start to finish, they'll be able to do everything on our system. So if you want to do a search, yeah, if you want to do a search seamlessly, you want to apply for a government allocation, you do it seamlessly. You want to get governor's consent, for you to do, whether it is deed of gift, deed of assignment, deed of partition, deed of anything. Do you understand? You can do it seamlessly on our system. And very soon, like we started discussing, amongst the team. Do you understand? It's becoming unfashionable to be carrying paper all around. Paper that you carry around. Even as at this morning, I was looking for my first passport. Because I love that first passport that I got in the 70s, and I just wanted to take a picture and send to someone, and I couldn't find it, and I've been worried all day. So it's the same thing when you have 20, 30 CFOs. Where are you going to keep all of those things? Now the banks are not even receiving CFOs anymore. During Boko Haram, you can remember that the bank said we should remove all our valuables that we kept in safe deposit, but you can store it electronically. When you store it, yes, you can have a CFO. The CFO does not need to be printed.
That's right.
Where we're going to, I would want to apply for a land, own that property, and have that CFO digitally. For those of us who have children that are born abroad, who are born in the US particularly, you know that, the passport, because you need it to travel. But the social security number, they give it to you, that's all you need. It's us Nigerians that are always asking for the social security card. What do you need that card for? It's only the number. However, you can download the card itself on an app. The same way that our NIMC card, you can download it on an app. Part of the greatest fraud that we had, with NIMC at the beginning, when Sajem and a couple of other companies were working on it, is the fact that they produce the cards and they have to reproduce the cards because the cards are not easily distributed. So what I'm saying now is, I get a CFO, because I have the electronic version, I download it on an app. And if you're asking me for my CFO, I show it to you physically on that app. And if you want to do a search, you go to our land online and check whether it is correct. However, if you still must have the hard copy for any reason, then we charge you for the printing of the hard copy. But for those who already have hard copies, we will also try as much as possible to do a process of revalidation of those titles and also have the electronic copy for them. So that as they have the hard copy in their house, we'll also help them to keep on the system the electronic copy. Before you stop, because you also talked about the GIS unit.
Yes.
Because people think that EGIS or EPPPS is just about land administration or building permission and all of that. No. So the other MDAs also need the information. That's why it is a service like LRS. So we're setting up GIS units.
Like LRS?
Yes, so we're setting up GIS unit across the MDAs. So already this year we're doing 20. Do you understand? And those things are needed. Do you understand? You can imagine that in the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, if you say you've done a road and they want to visit, before they even go visiting, they can actually view the road on our platform and measure it. From the EGIS platform, they can measure the road to say, yes, really these people did this kilometer. Yeah, they'll be able to do it. You understand? And for those who are doing audit, they're able to see, on our platform, whether those buildings that you say you have done, whether it has actually reached that height, you can see it. And for those who, for instance, we're working with LASVO, that's the Office of State Valuation, and we're saying, instead of us just having those barcodes that we put on the furniture, we're going to have RFID tags. So if you move that chair that you are sitting on, the system knows that the chair is being moved because it has an RFID tag. If you move out of that door, it will tell us that it is out of that door. This is where we want to be.
And we can get there.
Yeah, we can get there. And so when you talk about Enterprise Geographic Information Service, it is a service that is being given to all the MDAs, they are for efficiency, and also help members of the public who are our customers, not to waste their time, coming to Alausa, particularly with the kind of environment that we find ourselves, where sometimes, we can have traffic gridlock. Not because we are not providing enough in terms of transportation,
right.
But what do you do when a truck just falls over? Yes, Lasema has the best equipment, in the entire country. Lasema will remove it. Even if it goes into the water, Lasema will remove it. But the time it takes to remove it, is what you can avoid by sitting in your house and doing this transaction. Do not add to the traffic on the road. Even EGIS is coming with some mobility intelligence.
I can see the passion with which you are really reeling out this impactful creativity of an ingenuity that the Lagos State government is driving today to make the difference. And from the revitalization, the rejigging, through these three principal areas of digitization, instrumentation, automation, we are simply saying that Lagos today can pride itself via your office of assuring people that it is no more worries, but a better way or ease of doing business. Is that what we're saying here?
Yes, so I will actually give you the indicators for the ease of doing business according to the World Bank. Number one, being able to get land. Access to land is one of the criteria. Number two is being able to get a planning permission. That's the second thing. Number three is being able to manage your contracts. Do you understand what I'm saying? And number four is being able to register a company. Of these four things, two fall directly, under what we do. Being able to get a planning permission and access to land. Even when you talk about, the judicial system in Lagos, we have the best judicial Ministry of Justice across the country. Our lawyers are vibrant. At least I've worked in Abuja, and I've also worked in Kaduna. You know something, and I can tell you that what I find on ground here, I say with all sense of responsibility that the lawyers here, are the best. So, if we are able to get all of these things together, apart from the one thing, which we are not the ones registering the companies, but I also know that the CAC, under the leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president, they are already positioned, to do better. I understand now that a single proprietor can register a company. I understand now that they are also doing these things in an automated way. So if you have all of these things that are being done, and managing the contract is very important. So we are calling the people out there, you can, as a international company, apply for land, state your mission, tell us your finances, because part of the criteria for getting land is you being able to prove that you have funds to develop that land. If you don't, you become a land speculator. We are going to remove speculation from the system. That's like the Murphy's Law say, anything that can go wrong will surely go wrong.
That's right.
But we, on our part, we are going to guide against it to make sure that things don't go wrong. For all the projects that we are doing, we are going to ensure that those projects see the light of the day. So anything that we want to do, anything and everything that we want to do is on land. And those things that we want to do on land, we have to make sure that land as one of the major ingredients of development. The other land is one, fund is one. So that land, which is a resource, according to Peter Dale, it says that countries that have managed their land properly are rich, and those that have mismanaged their land are poor. So what we are doing in Lagos is proper land management. We are going to be, yes, as we speak. So we are involved in what you call proper land management. And when you have proper land management, it also speaks to two of the criteria for the ease of doing business: planning permission in a better way than access to land in a better way.
I cannot but also take you back a while, Doc, if you don't mind me, because I can see that you not only know your audience, but you have proven that you're a man of integrity, you're a man of competence, you're a man so capable to drive the drive, and that Mr. Governor has in no way made a wrong choice having you to sit to really administer this issue of digitization, instrumentation, automation that makes things work. But let's look at it today that if someone should ask you, with the deployment, I know you've said so much of this EGIS tools to the office of the Surveyor General and Lands Bureau, because this is where a lot of people, are really, pulling the crowd in there to ask one questions or the other. For you, by your own assessment, if you look at the past map of much you've said now, would you say that you are satisfied this far in what we've done, or we can still do better than what we're doing?
So, for a lot of people, they would have been hearing of the EGIS project since 2016. And, this is now 2024. And I'm aware that, people say, we've done this in Nasarawa, we've done this in Gombe, we've done this in Kaduna, we've done this in Abuja, we've done this in several places. A lot of those projects, I have been personally involved, in those projects around the city. At least I must have been involved in 13 to 16 projects, whether directly or indirectly. So I'll take, for instance, everything that has been done in Abuja today, it is because somebody put those things there. We set up the system in Abuja, and that's why it is easy for the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory to know that Mr. A or Mr. X is owing ground rent. So because the system is transparent and you can see it is able to roll out these names. It was a newspaper advert. If it was not computerized, how would you even know? So, billions of naira was made within 2-3 months, just from people, just because people were now paying their ground rent. So you're asking me whether we are satisfied. It's a question that I would love to ask Mr. Governor, because I can't do a self-assessment, of the project that I've been called upon, to handle together with my colleagues. However, I want to tell you that a project that started in 2016, there are certain things that would have changed between 2016 and now. We need to check our servers. We need to check our connectivity. We need to train our staff. We need to buy them more equipment. We need to buy softwares. We need to maintain the softwares. So all of those things are the things that Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu is doing. So maybe if you're asking me to assess the governor.
Okay, can we just put it this way?
Yeah, so if you're asking me to assess the governor, I'll give him like 1,000%, because he has given all the support to EGIS, because he knows that this must work. I'll give you a very good example. The land use charge. A lot of people are not paying their land use charge, and the Commissioner for Finance is calling on everyone to go out there and ensure that you pay your land use charge. We have 801,000 bills that are being generated on a yearly basis. Only 70% are paying. Why? We must have a very sense of responsibility and ensure that we pay. So together with the Commissioner for Finance, what we decided is, if 70% are paying, why don't we ensure that we increase the number? Because now from the orthophoto, which is enabled by EGIS, we can see that we have up to 5 million properties. So imagine if we are collecting 17% of 5 million, as opposed to 17% of 801,000. It translates to more money for us to build the 4 million bill, for us to do all those things that you want, for us to be able to give incentives to people who want to go to the Ministry of Agric and buy from their food market food at a subsidized rate. So these are some of the things that EGIS is going to enable. And then, in terms of, building collapse, you would not know immediately the impact of EGIS. There are something, but we have been able to reduce building collapse by just introducing some form of technology. By just trying to capture, people into the net, ensuring that buildings that don't have approval. I can tell you that since I came to the state, it's only one property that collapsed that has an approval. All those properties that collapsed don't have approvals.
We need to come to that, but can we just submit here, Doc, that with the Lagos State government's introduction of the EGIS, some said, and if you will agree, I want to know, that it is a cutting edge, so to speak, integrating the ICT, making a significant milestone in streamlining land administration in the state. Do you agree with that?
I agree, absolutely. I do. I agree. And if you want me to expatiate on that, like I told you earlier, there are different kind of land information system. You have the manual one and you have the automated one. Any good land information system is transparent. So for you to get that transparency, how do you do it? Is it not when you automate it?
That's correct. All right, let's take a break here a while, and when we come back, we'll take it from another perspective of the narrative, looking at how this certain new initiative, new vision of this EGIS put together in every sphere of what the essay has just spoken has changed the narrative in land administration in Lagos State. We'll come back after this time. If you're just joining us, we want to welcome you back, and my guest again that is still here with me to conclude the conclusion of the discourse on this matter of land administration in Lagos State is Dr. Olajide Abiodun Babatunde, the Special Advisor to Mr. Governor on EGIS and urban development. Doc, a lot you have done, a lot you have said, and a lot we have captured here, looking at the information you have passed on for us to be able to know how much the Lagos State government has committed and is still doing to make land matters, land administration more seamless to the citizenry of the state. But one thing here is the beauty of technology that is driving the new narrative. For you, Doc, we have so many of these agencies or ministries you work with. How have you been able to coordinate, to infuse this new dimension, this developmental change in letting these agencies of government, the ministry, and every other created agencies key to know that they must not fall short of this standard that has been established via your office?
So we have what you call the EGIS retreat, and we normally do our retreat at the end of the year. So what we do at the end of the year is look back and then look forward into the new year.
Look back?
We look back into the year and then look forward into the new year. So we invite different MDAs, and a lot of the MDAs would listen and understand what we do and see what actually they would want us to do for them. So we give them some form of documentation where they can map their needs. I can make some copies available to you, from my office just right after this. So they map their needs, and then in the new year, the same thing you do when you go to see a doctor, you come to see us. We're doctors. We sit down, we talk to you, and we look at how we can now turn your need, into some form of enabling. So we believe in the principle of adapt and sustain.
Adapt
and sustain. So they need to be able to. So we enable.
That's right.
You adapt.
Okay.
And you sustain. When we enable you, we give you those tools to use. We send you some people to be with you like midwives or maids for a while, and then you become a master of your game. You understand? So you must adapt those things to your own operations, which is the reason why we scan through, what you've written down while you are mapping your needs. So I'll give you an example. Every day that I go out now, I tell people, do not rent a property or purchase a property that has no building approval. Do not rent or purchase a property that does not have a building approval. So and then people come to me and say, I just received another message now. Ministry of Environment is somewhere. They have sealed the site. Why are you asking me? That's not me. That's environment. You must have blocked their waterways or their drainage path. Why are you coming to meet me? And I can see the person is telling me, oh, I only just purchased. They are only pay and tó kó sí kòtò ó kọ́ ara yòókù lọ́gbọ́n.
Meaning?
So you should, I mean, if for someone who falls into a pit, he's teaching those who are coming behind a lesson.
That's right.
So for this, my friend who just sent me this message, has fallen into the pit of the Ministry of Empowerment and Water Resources, and I can't help him because he has gone to build in the right of way of the drainage. So if that property is,
against the law.
if that property is pulled down, as his friend, if they say we should contribute money, I'll contribute my quota for us to find him another house. So what I'm saying in essence is, we've given you last week Lagos State Planning Information Center for you to go there and check whether the building has a building approval. That's number one. Number two, we're giving you the electronic physical planning process system. We're giving you the EGI system. We're giving you all of these things. On top of that, I am now working with Honorable Barakat Bakari Odunuga, who is the Special Advisor Housing and who is in charge of LASRERA, the Lagos State Real Estate Registration Authority or agency.
That's right.
You know, I'm working with her now. We are creating a platform, an EGIS platform in their office, where for those who want to purchase a property or those who want to rent a property, if you don't go to LASPIC because you don't have a property, because those who should go to LASPIC really should be the ones who have properties. But if you want to rent, go to LASRERA. You need to register that transaction. If you go and purchase a building, or you go and rent a building without you going to LASRERA, going forward, you'll be on your own. So some people have come to meet me recently now, and I know that they've written to the governor, and the governor attends to every mail. The governor has read it and sent it down to us. But the truth of the matter is, when they purchase the property, and this is, by the way, this is a church. I will not mention the name of the church. They purchased the property. I'm sure if they're listening to me now, they bear me witness that they purchased the property from a woman. When they purchased that property, that woman is not the administrator of the husband's will, but she's the one who sold. So that's a wrong transaction. Now that same woman, even though the children who are administrators did not challenge her, she's now saying that the place that she sold to the woman that sold to the church is not where the church are now in possession. You know, when all these things are coordinated, they have coordinates. So when you don't do things properly, you know, and I've also told the church, I said, this woman has cheated government because you went and did a transaction, and the law in Lagos State says that any transaction, even if it's a rent, not even just purchase, if you rent a property to someone beyond 3 years, you need to go and register that thing in the Lands Bureau. If it is less than 3 years, you will register it just in LASRERA. So if it is beyond 3 years, you must get to the Lands Bureau. So this woman has transferred that without even any registration at the Lands Bureau. So she's going to pay a penalty for every single year that it is viewed that she has sold or transferred the property without the consent of the governor. She's going to pay a penalty.
That's in accordance with the law.
Yes, that's in accordance with the law.
Well, we know that the 3 months.
So you get what I'm saying. You were asking about how we're working with agencies, and I've just described LASRERA,
which is a very good one there. We know that the 3 months amnesty program on planning permits for completed buildings without permits in the state has come and gone. But is there still a softer landing for anybody who may find himself or herself in this kind of quagmire, so to speak, as it concerns that administrative understanding?
So my colleague, who is the commissioner for physical planning, you know, he is the one who is in charge of the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority. Under the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority, the amnesty program is being run as we speak. And LAPCA, that's the Lagos State Building Control Agency, reports to me. So people have asked me what is going to happen after amnesty. After amnesty, if you do not have a building permission, I am going to mark your property. LAPCA will mark your property. You understand? And then we will get further directives as to what to do. So, you know, to be forewarned is to be forewarned. So members of the public should comply with the directives of the Commissioner for Physical Planning. Now, The amnesty period lapsed, and the commissioner got an approval from Mr. Governor for extension. So there's currently an extension. There's still a window of, I'm not the commissioner for physical plans, so I don't want to say what I'm not sure about, but I think there's a window of additional 3 months, and maybe 1 month is being completed at the end of this month. So they must still have up to 2 months to do it. You understand? Even in 6 months you have not done the needful. You understand? If you do not obey the law will catch up with you.
Let me wrap this up, Doctor, with you by concluding this note. I'm quoting you what you said that has to do with the relocation of the computer village. You said, in quote, the computer village area remains a residential area and its land use has not been changed by the state government. And this is the main reason the government is relocating the traders to Katangwa for proper settlement. And you said, if the rules say it is a residential area, then it must remain a residential area. You therefore said again, the government has to make provisions and also accommodate the people who are in this area. And that is the reason why the state government is developing Katangwa into a model market. I wanted to speak to this, to wrap it up.
I have a meeting with the Katangwa people just in the boardroom. So I'm inviting you to join me for 5 minutes, as I speak to them, so that you can see as they are right now in the boardroom. So I would like you to join me as part of this interview session, because they didn't know you were coming, and they also forgotten that you were coming. So I think you should join us just for a few minutes. Yes, I stand by everything that I say. Everything that I say is according to the dictates of the law. It's according to the directives of the Lagos State Executive Council. It's according to the approval of Mr. Governor. It's according to our extant rules and regulations. So the computer village remains the current location for where people call the computer village. It remains a residential area, and until it's changed, it is against the law for anybody to do otherwise. This is a country that relies on laws. It's a country of laws. We have enough laws in Nigeria. All we need to do is to respect those laws. And the computer village in Katangwa, as we speak right now, we're going through a process of revitalization. It takes time. You understand? And I can tell you, within the shortest possible of times, Katangwa would be the pride of the nation, not just Lagos. It is Julius Nyerere that said that any good government or the head of a government must not embark on a project or take a loan that he cannot pay back within the lifespan of his administration. Any project that we have started, I can tell you categorically that we're going to see it through. You understand? We're working on Katangwa market, we're working on Alaba Arago market, we're working on Ipele Wura, we're working on Jankara, we're working on Bombata. I can go on and on. You understand? Because this is a market society, it's a market economy. You understand? Lagos is the economic nerve center of Nigeria. And as a planner, as a development consultant and a land administrator, like I said, Peter Dale talks about land management. If we say we are the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, then it must really be so. It's a market community, it's a market environment. We are going to focus, greatly, on the markets in Lagos. That's the other part of my job, because I'm special advisor to Mr. Governor on EGIS and urban development. So under urban development, we are in charge of everything that has to do with the market. I give approval for everything that goes on in all the markets in Lagos. Which is under the urban development department, which is under the Office of Urban Development, and also under the Lagos State Urban Renewal Agency, LASURA. They also will do regeneration projects. So I'm doing a number of regeneration projects with my colleagues. we have Adeniji Adele, we have the Jankara one at Ilason that we're working through the processes, because all of these things are processes.
You're well versed. You're well versed. There's no doubt about this, Doc. You're well
You know,
versed.
we're also working on Okobaba. We're relocating the people in Okobaba to Timberville. This is going to be done before the end of this year, and I can tell you that Chinese companies and so many other companies are waiting to buy the timber and even the sawdust for as waste to energy. There are something from Timberville in Agbawa. Agbawa, Timberville, Lagos will be a destination for everyone across the country and even the West African region in the shortest possible of time. You know, I want to thank you very much, you know, for coming here to, you know, to talk to us today.
We'll come again.
You know, and anytime you come, you know, we're always available. If you invite me into your studios, you know, I'll be ready to come. I'm never afraid to take questions from members of the public if they have one question or the other to ask me.
That's good.
This government is the government that has a human face. Do you have something? You know, the development control and settlement of disputes is what we do. So as we do our development control, we also settle the disputes that come with it. You know, and I want to say to you that our officers are out there. Please ensure that you give them the maximum cooperation. I mean, do not attack our staff, because I still had cause to go to the hospital to visit some of the staff that have been injured by the members of the public. I mean, we should not do this. We should live in harmony. We should go around doing our work. You understand? And if we have issues, we should complain to the appropriate quarters. You know, like I tell people, there are different kind of bills for the State Assembly. You have the executive bills. We also submit bills to the executive. You have the legislative bill. The legislature also submit bills by themselves, and you have the public bills. You have something. We have all mechanisms by which you can reach us. If there's something in our system that is not working, you know, please go to the appropriate quarters and let us know. We have some customer service information.
Can you please state the numbers?
Yes, I'll share that with you. I will sitting down here is the one who is responsible for it. You know, and you know, he can just rule out those numbers. I'm sure he will give you those numbers to scroll on your screen, including our land online, so that people can visit and know that everything that we are doing is real. It's a very good day in Lagos. You know, wherever you are, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Well, Doc, I must thank you for this very rare time with you, and it's really engaging, friendly, and very interactive indeed. Thank you very much for this honor done us today.
Thank you very much.
Come back to update ourselves
You're,
on this issue.
you're always welcome.
Well, thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, viewers at home, that's just it out today. A special time out talking about land administration in Lagos State. And of course, this is a responsibility that has been so assigned to the special advisor to Mr. Governor on EGIS and urban development in the person of Dr. Olajide Abiodun Babatunde. And you can see for yourself that Lagos is set to change the narrative, and that is why together we are asking that we all put our hands on there to support this vision and make a difference in achieving the goals for the good of the collective of everybody, or the collective good of everyone, so to speak. We'll see you again same time next week.